Hi, have you ever felt that it's near impossible to save for a deposit for your first home here in the UK or London, specifically because London is so expensive? You're not wrong. Your feelings and sentiments are absolutely correct. Houses and properties have become so unaffordable in London since 30 years ago. In 1997, it takes an average 4 years of salary to save up for an average home in London. This is what we call the house to income ratio. In 1999, that threshold crosses to 5. And generally, people believe that if it costs more than 5 years of your salary to buy a home, houses become unaffordable. That ratio peaked in 2021 when it was 12.88 years. The good thing is the ratio has come down to the current 11.06 years, but it's still more than 2 times of what it should be at 5 times. In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can save for your deposit so that you can get on the property ladder sooner if this is what you want. And secondly, how you can shorten the time frame to help you get on the property ladder. But before we start, if you have not seen my video about whether is it better to rent or to buy, you might want to check out this link right here. I'll also put the link below so you don't have to stop this video to watch another video. Solution number 1, savings. I always see saving as a two-part problem. The two parts of saving is very easy to understand. Savings is just your take-home pay less your expenses. That's it. If you have trouble savings, target either one or both of these two aspects of your life. And I find that sometimes people waste time arguing. Is it better to target your expenses or is it better to target your take-home pay? I would say this really depends on your personal circumstances and also your temperament. Personal circumstances will be things such as, are you on a minimum wage? Are you working in a McDonald's or a restaurant and you're making not that much money on a per hourly basis? Are there opportunities for you to upskill yourself? And by upskilling, I don't mean going back to university, because universities are expensive and a lot of university graduates nowadays, they can't secure a job. By upskilling, I mean things such as, have you thought about training yourself to be a plumber or an electrician or car mechanics, or some sort of semi-skilled work, because those work can pay decent money. I mean, plumbers have flexible hours. It's tough work, of course, but they get paid decent money for what they do. If you're somebody who is making more than 100K a year and your partner is making, decent money, maybe not 100K, and let's say you have 2 kids and you're struggling with savings, I think you might really want to look at your expenses. Record every line of your expenses and then review whether is it possible for you to substitute them with cheaper alternative or just eliminate them altogether. You can't invest if you don't have savings. It's as simple as that. So that's your personal circumstances. When I say temperament, I will mean things such as, are you naturally more frugal? Or are you naturally have higher energy and you can take on a side hustle? Everybody is different and everybody energy level is different. So really need to understand yourself to look at, are you better off targeting the expenses or are you better off targeting the take-home pay? The second solution is investment. I will paint a hypothetical scenario and then you will understand why I advocate investment so much. Let's say you're targeting an average price first starter home in the UK, £350,000. At £350,000, you can get a pretty decent one-bedroom ex-local council in central London, or like even a 2-bedroom in zone 4 or zone 5. To get that sort of property, you need a minimum, I would say 10% deposit. To buy a £350,000 home, let's assume you're getting a 10% deposit for that home. So you need to save £35,000. That's your target. And I'm going to paint 4 scenarios to show you how you can reach this target a lot quicker. The first scenario is where you are saving £300 a month and you just put it in a normal savings account, assuming the savings account pay you some interest, but it's not much. I'm going to assume that it doesn't pay you any interest. So £300 a month. By the end of the 6 years, and you will know why I picked 6 years, because our target is £35,000. By the end of the 6 years, you will have £21,600 saved up in your savings account. The second scenario is where you make use of the Cash ISA. Cash ISA is a government scheme that helps first-time home buyer get on the property ladder. the maximum you can save in a cash ISA is £200 a month. And for that £200 a month, the government will pay you 25% to help you speed up the saving process. So if you max that out, you will get paid £50 a month. That goes towards your deposit for your first home. But remember, our saving target is £300 a month. So you can only save £200 in a cash ISA account and £100 in a normal savings account. If you use this scheme, at the end of the 6 years, you will have £25,200. I just want to caveat, the government is stopping the cash ISA scheme in November 2029. So if you only start now, this solution may not be available to you. But don't worry about it. The third and the fourth solution are even better. So the third solution is where you do a DCA in FTSE 100. Okay, Vivian, you're throwing me a lot of acronyms. What do they mean? DCA just means dollar cost average. Hear me out. And as I go through this example, you'll know what I really mean. FTSE 100 are the 100 largest companies listed in the London Stock Exchange. And ETF means exchange traded funds. You can think of ETF like a fruit basket. Somebody out there figured out, like, okay, so the FTSE 100 will have companies like HSBC, Barclays, Rolls-Royce, British Telecom, and so on and so forth. I don't know whether Greggs is on that FTSE 100. But instead of having the investor not having enough money to buy all of this, why not I, as a fruit seller, buy all of them in proportion to how big those companies are, cut a small piece of it and put it in a fruit basket and sell an investor the fruit basket. So the fruit basket itself is called ETF because whenever you buy one fruit basket, you get a little bit of HSBC, you get a little bit of Barclays, you get a little bit of Rolls-Royce, and so on. So it means if you manage to save £300 every month, you could just buy £300 of fruit basket every month. The thing is, the price of the fruit basket goes up and down because it's the financial industry. Prices goes up and down, but you don't care. So when the fruit baskets are expensive, you still spend £300 on it. When the fruit baskets are cheap, you still spend £300 on it, and you get more of the fruit baskets. In the past 6 years, FTSE 100 has been increasing at about 9% average compound every year. What do I mean? It just means if, let's say, the starting point is £1, by the end of the first year, it will be worth £1 and 9p. And by the end of the second year, that £1 and 9p will increase another 9%. And then you keep adding money into it. So it really snowballs. If you do a DCF on FTSE 100, £300 a month, by the end of the 6 years, you will have £28,833. This is a £7,000 increase from just putting money in a normal savings account. You can see now the difference. And the kicker, if you were to do an S&P 500 ETFs, S&P 500 are the 500 largest shares listed in the American Stock Exchange. So they include companies like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Palantir, Tesla, and so on. The S&P 500 has been increasing at 11% every year for the past 10 years on average. There are years when it dropped, but if you average that up, it gives you 11% return. If you do a DCA on S&P 500, at the end of the 6 years, you will have £36,728. This is £15,000 more than just saving money in a normal savings account. £15,000 over 6 years, and you will have reached your saving target of more than £35,000 just by investing in the S&P 500 ETF consistently, £300 every month. See, saving for a deposit for your first home is not so unachievable. It just requires a bit of self-control and astuteness when it comes to how to manage your money. Let's just do it the flip side. How long does it take for you to save £35,000 just by saving £300 every month in a normal savings bank account? It would take you 10 years as opposed to 6. So it's a big difference. At this point, some of you might think, if investment is so good, why do I still want to buy my own home? Very, very good question. I have 2 videos that illustrate this question. So the first one is it better to rent or to buy? And I'll put the link below. And the second video is, they are lying to you about buying your first home. It is a long video, about 30 minutes, but I go through the calculation of buying your home 10 years ago versus investing in the S&P 500, and which one are you better off financially. If you're dead set on buying your first home here in the UK, you might want to watch my video about how to get on the property ladder. This is a 3-part series video where I talk about things such as how do you shop for a home, how do you ask questions during the viewing process, how do you manage a conveyancing process so that you significantly reduce your rate of being gazumed, and most importantly, also motivational tools on how you can improve your odds of reaching that savings target. Leave a comment below on whether you have overcome this problem of saving for your deposit for your first home, or you're currently struggling with saving for a deposit for your first home. I would love to know what's the stories you have, and maybe create a video in the future to address those topics. If you find this video useful, please click a like and a subscribe. And I would love to see you in my next video. Bye.